Right, Radhika, we also have Vishwanathan joining us in order to get us more on this. Vishwanathan, what do we know about this case? Take us through it all.
Right. So what seems to be a primary focus in this entire situation is the loan diversion with respect to Yes Bank. Essentially, between 2017 and 2019, 3,000 crore worth of loans were given to Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies, which were allegedly diverted. That's what the preliminary findings by the Enforcement Directorate is showing. What is interesting also is that the Yes Bank promoters at that point in time, who's Rana Kapoor, who's already currently in jail, by the way. Rana Kapoor was, at that point in time, he had received some money from the Reliance Ambani Group, Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies, which right before the loans were sanctioned to these companies. And that's an important note. Essentially what the ED seems to have found is that the loans were given without proper due diligence, authoritative checks on these companies, or seeing if they are actually eligible for these loans. So that money was then given from Yes Bank to the Reliance Group companies, and then later that money was diverted through other group companies or shell companies across the world, and essentially this money was then taken out of the system. What sources are saying is that this seems like a well-planned sort of a scheme to divert public money by duping the banks that are involved, and this investigation is under consideration of the Enforcement Directorate. What the ED is also looking at is information that was shared by the Securities and Exchanges Board of India, specifically with respect to a company called Reliance Home Finance Ltd. This was a company which is part of the Anil Ambani Group companies, and it seems that corporate loans that were given by the Reliance Home Finance company had a dramatic increase between the financial year ending March 2018 and March 2019. So between that period of time, a lot of corporate loans were given by this housing finance company, which is essentially a mortgages company, and that is under the scanner as well. You can look at the scale of the operations. Over 35 premises, 50 companies, 25 people, all are part of the search operations. So that is a significant action by the Enforcement Directorate. They are, of course, acting under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which is usually the act that is invoked when the ED is suspecting that money has been siphoned out of the system and taken for personal gain. So that's an important development from ED.
Right, Vishwanath, according to the ED, like you mentioned, this illegal diversion of funds was part of a very well-planned scheme in order to siphon off public money by misleading banks, shareholders, investors and financial institutions. But what is the ED saying about the role of Anil Ambani in all of this?
Well, at this point in time, it doesn't seem to be specifying anything about Anil Ambani. Actually, what we do know, however, is that already State Bank of India has reached out to the CBI for a formal complaint about a fraud case in the Reliance Communications company case. That happened last month, and after that, of course, a lot of news has flown in. In fact, the government recently in the Parliament has also responded to a query saying that State Bank of India is reaching out to the Central Bureau of Investigation, because they are calling the RCOM company as well as promoter Anil Ambani are fraudulent, and therefore that investigation will continue as well. So on top of the ED investigation, there will be a lot of involvement of the CBI in this case as well, because that is a separate bank loan that was part of the same set of companies, but that's a separate case that is going on from SBI's side.
Right, of course, the investigation revealing that just before the loans were approved, the promoters of Yes Bank received funds in their own group entities, raising serious concerns of bribery, of corruption. But is this the first time that Anil Ambani's companies are having that run-in when it comes to the Enforcement Directorate?
Yeah, so there have been a lot of Enforcement Directorate actions in the past, but also remember, so as I mentioned earlier, the CBI is also looking into the bank fraud case. So this is not a sort of a one-off case as far as the Reliance Group companies of Anil Ambani are concerned. These situations have evolved multiple times across multiple companies, and this is, of course, ongoing and is only going to add to that pressure that already exists.
Focusing on that suspected illegal diversion of loans amounting to 3,000 crore rupees we are talking about, taken from Yes Bank, and between 2017 and 2019. If you get us really the details of all of this, the finer details, and if you can really break it down for us, what all did those alleged irregularities really involve?
So 3,000 crore was given to the Anil Ambani Group companies. Essentially, these loans were given out without thorough background check on the companies or looking at the eligibility of the companies. So that's a big red flag as far as ED or any other agency is concerned, actually. But in this specific case, they're pointing out that the promoters of Yes Bank, as I mentioned earlier, Rana Kapoor specifically, did receive some funds in their personal accounts, and therefore this points to some kind of collusion between the promoters of Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies as well as promoters of Yes Bank. So that is one thing. The other thing, credit approval memorandums were backdated to ensure that the loan is kosher. Investments that were proposed without any due diligence or credit analysis, which is in violation of the internal policy criteria for the banks. All of these actions were undertaken, and then later on, very soon after the loans were granted, the money was then diverted to other companies, which again is a big red flag as far as banking is concerned. If money flows from one account to the other in a very quick succession right after the loan has been sanctioned, then that's a big problem, because money at the end is fungible, and money flowing through multiple companies usually means that the money is being siphoned out of the company and being used for reasons other than what was actually envisioned in the original loan document. But here, of course, ED is questioning the basis of the original loan document itself and saying that Yes Bank actually did not do its due diligence at that point in time in 2017 and 2019. They didn't do the thorough due diligence before clearing the loan. So that is an important development, because soon after 2019, by 2020, Yes Bank itself went under severe financial troubles, and then the RBI had to step in and save the bank because of all similar issues that were happening. As I mentioned earlier, Rana Kapoor is already in jail, and that is with respect to the cases that have been happening with Dewan Housing Finance Limited. So there is no surprise then that such deals are being struck between Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies as well as Yes Bank's former promoter, former CEO of Yes Bank, Rana Kapoor. And these sort of point to a very, very quite a criminal sort of conspiracy that has been going on between these two sets of people. And then that is why the money that has been exchanging hands between Yes Bank and Reliance Anil Ambani Group companies comes under the scanner. That is why the ED is investigating a money laundering aspect in this case.
Right, of course, Vishwanath, this really comes at the heels of SBI declaring Anil Ambani as a fraud. But, when we're talking about raids, they are covering about 35 different locations that are being raided, involving 50 companies, as well as 25 individuals linked to Anil Ambani. But this, the raids are not being conducted when it comes to his personal residence. That has been spared. How come that's happened?
That can happen, because if it's not part of the investigation, then that's not a part of the investigation. But the ED is more concerned about money flowing through companies, right? Nowhere has it currently alleged if personal accounts were involved. In case a personal account is involved, then of course Anil Ambani's private properties and residences could come under investigation. But at this stage, all that ED is saying is that money was flowing through multiple companies within the group of companies. And because Anil Ambani was sitting at the controlling seat of these companies, so therefore his sort of involvement is also crucial here. Whether that was in a personal capacity or in the capacity as the chairman of the company, that is a separate investigation altogether. But these search operations are focused on money flowing within these group companies to shell companies, and then places that currently seem to be unclear.